Another big aspect of the 3D games that you notice is kind of the knockdown game, right? The downed, hitting downed opponents and then dodging them with side rolls or doing toe taps, like in Tekken, or wake up fours where you wake up with like an attack like that hits
Did you know
mid or
in Tekken they still have Virtua Fighter moves as down attacks? I heard people actually call those moves Virtua Fighter.
Oh yeah,
Like
definitely.
I believe one example is Paul. If you do like a up forward 2, but when the opponent is standing, it just does like a little hop into a punch. But if you do the same command when they're downed, it does the full jump into attacking the ground.
Yeah, that one's the Virtua Fighter. And there's a Xiaoyu player in Korea, Sodam. Sodam. He's kind of a troll. But when you watch him play, he'll troll his opponents with the Virtual Fighter move.
Okay.
So he's using it as to
just to pick fun at them.
To like I don't know, be a troll, right?
Yeah.
And but he scream out Virtual Fighter, Virtual Fighter, Virtual Fighter. Every time he did the, it's the move where it's like you're like punching downward from the air.
Yeah.
And it looks ridiculous, right? Because that's not really.
뭐야 벌처 파이터 뭐야? 벌처 파이터! 이게 중단이거든요.
There was a bit of a debate online too. Some of the Tekken players are like, why do they keep this in Tekken? Like nobody uses that.
Yeah.
Because they would rather use a stronger or a faster move.
Yeah, it's not a common move at all. I mean, rarely do people use it unless they're trolling, right?
Right.
So it's only for those people who want to troll, I think.
So the developers actually encourage you to troll? Is that a thing? But I wonder why it's still kept that. But some of them are definitely practical in a competitive environment.
Yeah.
So like I know Heihachi's down 4 when they're down. He stomps on them.
Yeah.
Paul also, if he does down 2, he punches the ground.
Solely
for the purpose of hitting the downed opponents.
Yeah, I mean those are really useful. I mean that's really common with Jin or that's from the ground. That's not jumping and then punching.
Right.
That's the Virtual Fighter. The Virtual Fighter is the one where you actually have to jump in the air,
like a full jump,
and then do the move, which is like what nobody uses. But the down 2s, those are very common when you want to get the extra damage and the person's laying on the ground. So it's. Those are very kind of detailed things to parse. From an outside observer, just kind of look at this and be like, how this all looks the same to me, right?
Yeah.
So,
and in relation to that, I did notice some of the anime games, notably Guilty Gear Strive, and some of the previous titles did have similar concept. Not for the same purpose of things where you would want to end your combo, but once they're down on the ground, you kind of get an extra bonus damage to like kind of poke on them so that they can just get up quickly. Yeah. Sometimes people think that's like a mandatory thing to finalize your combo, but then in a more competitive like mindset, people can kind of do it when they think they want to kind of open the distance more after the Oki situation. But if they want to actually go for the mix-up, instead of hitting them, they would like try to gaze in and do it like an ambiguous mix-up kind of thing. It's not a prominent mechanic of the game, but it does exist in non-3D fighting games as well.
Yeah. So the thing is like when you describe like a fighting game type, it's mostly it's never saying that only 3D games have this or only 2D games have this. They kind of cross over, and this is the thing about overheads, right? So overheads in 2D fighting games didn't exist until later. I guess Fighter's History is one where they introduced an overhead. And I think
even in Street Fighter World Warrior, they never had any concept of that. It was on the later versions like Hyper Fighting or ST.
Yeah, and you had Virtual Fighter that just had all these moves that beat crouch blocking from the ground. So I think that's where all that came from. So I mean, OTGs, same thing.
OTG is also like a very significant thing, mainly in the Versus series games.
Sure.
Yeah. Some of the moves and assists were solely designed to OTG and extend your combo. And I mean, they're a very, very important part of the game where it distinguishes that if that mechanic exists in your fighting game, then it's a very advanced form of fighting game that's not so traditional, I would say. Because the traditional fighting games like Street Fighter, don't have them.
The grounded fighting games, the 2D archetypal hold back to block.
Yeah.
Grounded fighting games, generally you whiff when you. I mean, we were playing. We were streaming Street Fighter 6 the other day, and on my opponent's wake up,